Lay down with me, friend. Let me tell you a story about alchemy. For a while now, I have known somebody who I admire and who I become deeply jealous of. Not because I want to possess them, but because they embody expressions in the world that I wish to express, that I wish to embody. And so for over a year now, I have been acknowledging this person as a trigger and as a teacher, and accepting that and wishing them nothing but love and joy and to continue on their path. And so a few weeks ago, the latest lesson, the latest trigger came along. I had randomly watched on YouTube a video of somebody exploring a restaurant. I think it's in the Netherlands or Norway. I can't remember now. I think it's called Iris. There's this beautiful architecture in the middle of the lake, and when you arrive by ferry, you're greeted and taken down a spiral staircase into an experience that lasts for 4 hours, where you're immersed in an artwork with 14 courses of 5-star food. And I just knew that this person would love that. They're a foodie, they love to travel, they make good money. So I showed them the video. And when I turned the video off, they stood up and went to their computer and said, "Oh, I'm going." And the jealousy hit. Not because they can just afford to do that kind of thing. I'm talking about $2,000 to $3,000 Australian for 4 hours. Because if I had the money, I would do it. But the block that created the real jealousy was that they could eat it and I could not. Because of autoimmune disease, because of allergies. And I didn't know what to do with it. I generally don't get jealous. Generally, my philosophy is, well, that's showing me that I want something. I don't want that person's version of that. I want my own version of that. But I could not see how I could ever overcome this disease, which now, looking back on it, indicates a lack of faith. So, a few weeks later, excuse me. So a few weeks later, suddenly, during a culmination of ego death and entity attachment 444, because these usually come together. I'll explain that another time. Suddenly, as I've mentioned in other videos that I've uploaded recently, I found myself unable to eat any healthy vegan food at all without vomiting, and desperately craving chocolate, which I was allergic to, and bacon, which is not good for me or the pig. So I had to dive into faith while my ego and my mind were freaking out. I had to dive into faith, and my guides told me that it was like a flood picking up debris, a whole lot of crap, and then going into a drain pipe, a big pipe under a tower, under a castle, and slamming into a pre-existing block in that drain, in that pipe. And I said, oh no, have I created another tower moment? I've been doing my best. And they showed me quite comically. The alternative was literally the hand of God dropping a comet on that tower that is above the surface, which I guess represents me, and decimating the entire castle and all the pipes beneath, creating a crater. And they said I've done a good job, but there is a block and it must be moved. So I went into faith again, but my mind was constantly occupied by this gluttony, this greed. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't enjoy yourself. These are sins, for lack of a better term, or a less convoluted term, when they are depriving another, when we're putting our wants before another's needs. And within reason, we can't save the whole world. So this was occupying my mind, this greed and this gluttony. Okay, I'm just going to eat it, or I'm going to try and be thankful. And then I realized after a while, after a week, that it must have been manifested by this surge of emotion that came with the jealousy. Of wanting something that seemed unavailable to me. And so I allowed that experience, comforted myself, listened, alchemized, dove deep, and gave myself a break. All the different times while living my life. And again, I was focusing on the gluttony and the greed. And it took me a while to identify the energy, the entity that had taken over my being as jealousy. And what is jealousy? Because I certainly don't wish it away from another, although I know some people do, and I would have when I was younger. I'm happy that other people are happy. I'm happy that other people are experiencing. And then I was thinking about a video that I filmed that day where we spoke of putting our focus, our energy outside of ourselves. Of chasing experiences, needing peak experiences. And how the magic is actually in the mundane, because this is the quiet moments where if we allow it, we are not distracted. This is where the alchemy is. It does not mean that we cannot have experiences. Of course it doesn't. But experiences manifest as a result of what is internal. When I get to go on these great expeditions, I want to be a version of myself who can truly appreciate, relax, and enjoy those experiences. And I'm willing for that version of myself to come and go, because I am an alchemist. I am alchemizing the resistance to being an alchemist. Not just for myself, but for the collective. Not just before, yes, it was before. Yeah, it was before. Not just for the collective of man, humanity, for the world. I remember the world forming. While I'm here in this body, in this program, she's my mother, but I remember being hers. And even that process was alchemical, because other things were destroyed to create the new. This is the process of creation. The chaos is the process of creation. If things were truly peaceful, not a single atom would vibrate. There would be no experience. There would be nothing to witness. So, my friend, if you have not fallen asleep, then maybe there is some value in what I say. Maybe there is some tingling in your heart chakra, in the memory of what has been and what will be. And it is okay to let your mind wander. Don't wander too far, because the magic is right now. The creation is in this moment, and you will only experience it later. And when you have experienced what you created, you will realize that maybe you need to tweak the recipe. Just one more time. But is the point of cooking just to eat? Or is there joy to be found in the process of the growing, of the harvesting, of the foraging, of the preparation? And of the sharing of those exercises with those who have chosen to join you on your journey. It is said so often, and it is so difficult to do. Be here now. I love you. Bye.